Hello, it's Sonia here, the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So today we are going to be featuring a stitch pattern, and I am using my J hook or 6mm hook, and I've already gotten started on row 1. So here we go. Here is row 1, and the yarn I am using is Bella Coco Aran, or Irresistible Aran, I think it's called. And what you're going to need to do for this stitch pattern is chain an even number. So I went ahead and I chained 14. So I'm going to show you a clip on how to get started on row 1. Okay, so row 1 is our setup row in the second chain from our hook. I like to work in the back bump of my chain. I am going to pull up loops. Now you don't have to work in the back bump, that's just my preferred method. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I do have a playlist that goes over the basics plus other stitch pattern tutorials and projects as well. So I'll place that link in the description box if you want to check that out. So Tunisian crochet is always worked in 2 parts. Each row is worked in 2 parts. So we are doing row 1. So the first part of row 1, called the forward pass, we are putting our stitches on our hook. And then the second part of row 1 will be called the return pass, where we will take the stitches off our hook and each part equals 1 row. Okay, so I have my loops on my hook, and the amount that I chained will be the amount that is on my hook. So I have 17 loops because I chained 17. So let's work the second part of row 1. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Okay, so there we go. There is row 1. All right, so we are back. Now let's get ready to work row 2. So for row 2, and this is just a 1 row repeat for this stitch pattern. So you're just going to be repeating row 2 for however long you want your swatch. Okay, so to begin, we actually are going to chain 1. Now we're going to skip our first vertical bar and work in the second one. We're going to work Tunisian simple. Now we're going to do a yarn over, and we're going to go back in the one we skipped and work Tunisian simple. And now we yarn over, pull through 2. And we repeat that across. So you're going to skip the next vertical bar and work Tunisian simple in the next. And if you're not familiar with Tunisian simple stitch, I do have that in the playlist that I'll have linked in the description box. Now we do our yarn over and work Tunisian simple in the one we skipped. Yarn over, pull through 2. Because I chained 14, so I want to make sure I have 14 loops on my hook at the end of row 2. So we're going to skip the next vertical bar, Tunisian simple, yarn over, Tunisian simple in the one we skipped. So we're just crossing those stitches, and now we yarn over, pull through 2. And we just keep going across. This yarn likes to split a little bit, but I like it because it has very nice stitch definition. Okay, so we are almost at the end of our row here. We just need to work the last stitch. So to work the last stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in that stitch that looks like a chain, pull up a loop, now yarn over, pull through 2. So because I chained 14, I should still have 14 loops on my hook. And I do. So now we work our return pass. So we work it like normal, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. So what you want to do is just repeat row 2 for however long you want your swatch, and then we'll do our bind off row. So I'm going to work a few more rows and then I will meet you back. Alright, so here is my swatch, and as you can see, this one does lay flat, which is really nice, which is uncommon with Tunisian simple stitch because that usually curls, but because of the yarn overs and things, I think that's why it is laying flat, which is nice. So I worked 8 rows. So now we are going to do our bind off row, which is just finishing off our work. So we are going to bind off in pattern here. So we're going to skip the verse vertical bar and work in the next Tunisian simple, but we're binding off. And now we're not going to yarn over, we're just going to go in the one we skipped and work Tunisian simple. And we're just going to do that all the way across. Skip the next, work Tunisian simple, and binding off. And binding off is a combination of regular crochet and Tunisian crochet. So we're working Tunisian simple stitch, which is a regular Tunisian crochet stitch, and then we work a slip stitch to bind off, which is regular crochet. And if you're not familiar, I do have that in the playlist. Alright, and we can't forget our last stitch right here, that chain, that yarn splitting. Alright, so there we go. So I really do like this stitch. I think it would really look nice in a blanket, especially with the nice texture, or in a hat, in a variety of projects. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.